remember that they're changing my voice. They feel me to the extreme in the video clip that I'm going to put after this, but I'm going to try to explain the key details here real fast. And keep in mind, there's 23 witnesses to them sabotaging me and fuming me and harassing me and so on and so forth. So it's something that I've went way out of my way to make sure everyone knows is true, and I have solid witness testimony on record. Okay. So, to make a long story short, recently there was some police officers who beat to death some inmate in the corrections system somewhere. Maybe it was California, maybe somewhere else. And the person's first name was Messiah, according to the video, the picture they put on the screen. Around that time, there was a person who was shot by police in Morgan Hill at the Safeway on Dunn. Now, before that, there was, some years back, maybe a year ago or so, there was a person who was killed across the street from Safeway, shot and killed right before I got there, right? So maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes before I drove into the Safeway shopping center. The person was killed in the early morning. It's rare for people, I say, to be killed in the early morning for the most part, right? And homicides are extremely rare in Morgan Hill. And that person who was killed, in that case, either the shooter or the victim was named Jesus. And so that connects it. We see the pattern here, where that person, there's the Jesus name, and we see that the person who was killed by the correction officers, his name was Messiah. And it connects the two cases with the Safeway incident on Dunn in Morgan Hill, when shootings in Morgan Hill are rare. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and play the next clip where I explain it the first time, and they feel me so much it made it so it was very hard to talk. Right now, I'm doing it with the door open, and sometimes there's fumes outside of my vehicle that make it so I'm better off making the video with the windows up, the door, and the doors closed. But right now, it's the other way around. So there's that. Before I forget, the person who was shot, who was charged with assaulting an officer at the Safeway on Dunn, his name is Sean Hellman. Yeah, the word hell. And there's also a street called Hell, not far from that, which crosses Dunn and connects Dunn and Tenet. And there's a Safeway on Dunn, and there's a Safeway on Tenet. Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So I have a lot on my plate, but these two facts are key here. One, recently, somewhere around 10 correction officers were charged with beating to death an inmate. Now, this is nothing new, There was another incident like this maybe some months back or so. But the name of the person, at least the name they put in the annotations or on the screen, was Messiah. And at the same time, keep in mind that somebody named Jesus something was shot across the street, or was the shooter across the street in a homicide in Morgan Hill, by a Safeway that I always go to. The other Safeway, right? The Safeway I always go to is on Tenet. The other one's on Dunn. And matter of fact, it's just a black person looking similar to the victim just drove by here. It's about 1 minute. Mental note there. He's riding a pink bicycle. There's some parallels to him and how the victim looked in the case where the correction officers beat to death that one person. So again, they're playing some kind of sick game of, it's all coincidence or something. Oh, wow. And some police officer just drove by with his lights on too. And I was just talking about the Safeway. This was about 1 minute, 30 seconds. The Safeway shooting that happened here in Morgan Hill. So crimes don't happen very often. So this one guy was killed across the street from Safeway, and someone named Jesus was either the person who shot him, or allegedly, or the victim. And the Safeway on Dunn, I believe it was a couple days ago or something, we see that somebody was shot there by police, and he was charged with assault on a police officer, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm being filmed, there's a lot going on here, but you can see that the facts line up here. I'll put it on the screen. It's easier for me to edit it sometimes. Sometimes it's very difficult to edit it. So because I'm being filmed, and I edit in a way that causes me to rush through this because I'm being fumed and poisoned. So it's making it harder for me to talk right now. So let me just wrap this up really quickly here. Okay. To make a long story short, the person who was killed was named Messiah. Okay, I've been coming out to Morgan Hill for quite some time with bumper stickers that say that I'm Christ for years now. Okay, the person who was shot across the street, right? Was where I am right now. Matter of fact, I'm at the Safeway, the greater area, of the Safeway shopping center where that person across the street was shot and killed. Okay, in that case, either the shooter or the victim was named Jesus. The victim of the 10 police officers' name was Messiah, and that occurs around the same time as there's a shooting at the other Safeway, and the shootings are rare, mind you. And some years back, I pointed out that something had occurred in a Safeway in San Jose on a Berryessa or something, and I pointed out, some incident that had occurred, right? Some guy was, I think he shot the guy. He shot one of these guys who did the robbery. He looks sort of like me, and he shot the Safeway worker. It pisses me off that people are so mature, the military, the intelligence apparatus, their contractors, that they're making it hard for me to say this, and they're playing this stupid game in the first place. I'm not proud to be American. Shame on you people.